The drama surrounding Sophie Cunningham's injury and Bria Hartley's infamous smirk has become one of the most heated flashpoints in the WNBA this season. What should have been another regular game for the Indiana Fever turned into a firestorm of controversy fueled by a brutal on-court collision, an injury to one of Indiana's key players, and a single image that seemed to define everything fans feared about Hartley's reputation. It was a night where basketball gave way to something far more dramatic, a collision of perception, accountability, and resilience. It began in the second quarter. Bria Hartley pushed hard toward the basket, weaving through defenders when her momentum carried straight into Sophie Cunningham's right leg. What seemed like an ordinary possession instantly changed. Cunningham's body folded unnaturally, her hand shooting toward her knee before she collapsed onto the hardwood. For a moment, the air inside the arena froze. Trainers sprinted onto the floor, players huddled nervously, and fans watched in silence as Cunningham clutched her knee, wincing in pain, unable to rise without help. She leaned on staff as they guided her to the locker room, ruled out for the rest of the night. The Fever had already been stretched thin. Caitlin Clark was sidelined with a groin injury. Ari McDonald and Sydney Colson were lost for the year, and now Cunningham, one of their fiercest competitors and emotional leaders, was gone too. In that instant, Indiana's season looked like it was unraveling, but what made this moment explode into controversy wasn't just the injury. It was what happened afterward. Cameras panned toward Bria Hartley, and there it was. A grin, a fleeting smirk that once broadcast and clipped for social media became the spark to ignite outrage. Fans didn't see a moment of awkward timing. They saw Hartley smiling as Sophie Cunningham limped off, injured and devastated. To them, it wasn't just bad optics, it was a confirmation of what many had already believed. That Hartley had targeted Cunningham, that she had played dirty, and that she was relishing the result. Context mattered, and Hartley's reputation made that image sting even harder. This wasn't the first time she had been accused of crossing the line. Earlier in the season, she had been caught yanking Angel Reese's hair during a rebound. She had gotten into heated scuffles with Rebecca Allen, Skylar Diggins, and others. To her critics, Hartley had long been the league's dirtiest player, someone who thrived on reckless play and intimidation. The smirk in their eyes wasn't a coincidence. It was the mask slipping. That's why the backlash was immediate and ferocious. Indiana fans accused the league of negligence, furious that officials didn't even review the play. Cunningham's sister took to social media to blast the officiating, while her mother accused Hartley of being out of control before later deleting her post. Fever supporters pointed to a troubling pattern, players being injured, referees allowing physicality to escalate unchecked, and the league responding with fines for words instead of punishments for dangerous actions. And all the while, that image of Hartley's grin spread like wildfire, reshaping the conversation. What began as anger over an injury turned into a narrative about accountability, or the lack thereof. Should Hartley be suspended? Was the WNBA protecting its stars? Or was the league sending a dangerous message by allowing reckless behavior to go unpunished? The timing couldn't have been worse for Indiana. Down 21 points in the third quarter, missing multiple starters, and now stripped of Cunningham's energy, it looked like a breaking point. Instead, it became the beginning of something historic. Kelsey Mitchell, quiet in the first half with just 4 points, erupted in the second. She scored 34 points after halftime, finishing with a career-high 38, tying the league's highest scoring game this year. Every shot she hit was a lifeline for a team on the brink of collapse. Threes rained in overtime, where she scored the Fever's first 10 points, silencing the Connecticut crowd and shifting momentum in stunning fashion. Alongside her, Aaliyah Boston anchored the paint with a double-double. Odyssey Sims stepped up as a fearless secondary playmaker, and Lexi Hull buried a corner three that sealed the comeback. From the ashes of Cunningham's injury, the Fever completed the largest comeback in franchise history, stunning Connecticut 99-93 in overtime. What looked like disaster had transformed into one of the proudest wins the team has ever recorded. In the locker room, Coach Stephanie White made sure her players understood the weight of what they had done. "We will never be counted out," she told them, her voice filled with emotion. Her words weren't about tactics or stat sheets. They were about resilience. A team missing its biggest names, battered by injuries and controversy, had chosen to fight back instead of fold. Caitlin Clark, absent with her own issue, echoed the sentiment online with a simple message: battled, battled, battled. So proud. Cunningham herself, despite the uncertainty around her knee, tweeted, "Kelsey freaking Mitchell," choosing pride for her teammate over bitterness about her own setback. It was a moment that reframed the story. Yes, the collision, And Hartley's smirk dominated headlines. Yes, calls for suspension and accountability still echoed loudly, but beneath it all was something just as powerful, proof that Indiana refuses to be broken. A team already defined by chaos had revealed its core identity, grit, unity, and defiance against the odds. The controversy isn't going away anytime soon. Hartley's past ensures the debate over whether she deserves suspension will continue. Fans and analysts alike are demanding the league finally step in, not just to punish one player, but to set a precedent that stars like Cunningham will be protected. The image of Hartley smiling, whether misinterpreted or not, has cemented itself as one of the most infamous snapshots of the season, and yet, out of that ugliness, Indiana carved out its greatest triumph. Mitchell's 38-point explosion will live in highlight reels, but it's the collective resilience, the way Boston, Sims, Hull, and the entire roster held each other up that will resonate long after the headlines fade. Cunningham's future remains uncertain, but her team honored her fight the only way they knew how, by refusing to surrender. Out of one of the darkest nights of the WNBA season came the Fever's brightest comeback. But the questions still remain. Should Bria Hartley face suspension? And how should the league protect its players better in moments like this? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss stories like this one.